I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear.
Office of President of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution.
It's a new day across the country as President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris take office.
We'll have live, continuous coverage from our nation's capital to right here in Northeast Indiana.
We watched the inauguration with a group of students here at Purdue Fort Wayne, just like we did on this day 4 years ago. Tonight, their thoughts on the speech.
The inauguration will go down in history books, but how will it be studied? We'll hear from a local history professor about how it will be chronicled.
And bringing you local coverage you can count on.
Your #1 News at 5 starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tara Brantley.
And I'm Dirk Rowley. We do have team coverage of today's historic day from Northeast Indiana, and here in our nation's capital, is where we start.
Tonight we begin with CBS's Natalie Brand. She walks us through today's swearing-in ceremonies of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
After taking the presidential oath of office, President Joseph R. Biden declared democracy has prevailed.
I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans.
Former Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton were on hand for the transfer of power, as well as outgoing Vice President Mike Pence.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Pence's successor, Kamala Harris, made history, becoming not only the first woman, but the first black person and first person of South Asian descent to become vice president. Speaking at the Capitol just 2 weeks after rioters stormed the building, the 46th president said unity is the only path forward.
My whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause.
While today was steeped in tradition, only a small, socially distanced group attended the ceremony because of the coronavirus pandemic and increased security concerns.
The National Mall, usually crowded with supporters, was instead filled with flags. On stage, a bipartisan show of star power.
Amazing grace.
Notably absent, former President Donald Trump, who declined to greet his successor as he hinted at a political return.
We will be back in some form. I wish the new administration great luck and great success.
But Mr. Trump departed for Florida before festivities began. After arriving at the White House, President Biden will launch his administration with more than a dozen executive actions addressing issues from the pandemic to climate change. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Of course, inaugurations often bring memorable moments, but what about the historic ones?
Wayne 15 Sierra Tufts continues our team coverage, delving into the history that was made today. She joins us now with more. Sierra.
Dirk and Tara, on the surface, a female and woman of color is the vice president for the first time. However, there is more to it. Purdue Fort Wayne assistant professor Jeff Melanson says it's hard to decipher what exactly is a historical moment because we're currently living it. However, he says the 59th inauguration will go down in history. Melanson explains 3 major events coming together make today's inauguration unprecedented. We're in the middle of a pandemic, the election itself, and the riots 2 weeks ago to the date. But in a few years, how will the past year be remembered?
We don't yet know how all of this is going to resolve itself. That's the other big thing that I think we all kind of struggle with is we think of the current moment as being historically significant, but we don't necessarily know what that significance is going to be. Every textbook is going to talk about COVID-19 and the election of 2020 and the insurrection on January 6th and Trump is the only president to be impeached twice. We know that these will be historically significant moments, but kind of the story that's told about them, I think, is yet to kind of be concluded.
As for what makes something memorable, that's completely subjective. These are some photos of when Wayne 15 was at JFK's inauguration. His speech, as well as other memorable moments, are part of a poll on our Twitter right now. Currently, John F. Kennedy's speech is voted as the most memorable. In Studio 15, Sierra Tufts, Wayne 15 News.
Sierra, thank you. Of course, many memories being made today. And as they are, we are looking back. comparing this moment with the inauguration of 4 years ago.
A handful of students gathered on campus at Purdue Fort Wayne to watch the inauguration today, as students did 4 years ago. Wayne 15's Chris Darby was there both times. Chris, a little bit different today.
Yeah, I was with those students 4 years ago watching President Trump be sworn in. Today, the ceremony, the viewing party for the inauguration of President Joe Biden, a little different. Much bigger room, far fewer people. Just a handful of Purdue Fort Wayne students gathered in the ballroom watching the swearing in of the new President of the United States today. 4 years ago, the viewing preceded by a panel discussion. Today, guests were brought in virtually, a sure sign of the times. One theme held true through both inaugurations, though, a hope for unity.
I think one of the most important things we can do is sort of give Trump a chance. I think, sort of the time for fear and cowering is over.
I would hope that everyone can kind of take a breath and, that doesn't mean all the world's problems are gone, but that, we can kind of get back to just, having civil or as civil as we possibly can, conversation in politics.
I did talk with a senior today whose past 4 years in school has, of course, been all during the Trump administration. She was very cautiously optimistic, noting unpredictable times we've been living through. We'll hear from her and another student coming up in my full report at 6 o'clock. Now, if you do want to go back and see that story from this day 4 years ago, you can do that on WANE.com. Live in the newsroom, Chris Darby, WANE 15 News.
Chris, thank you. And now looking ahead, President Joe Biden has a 100-day plan that includes taking action on dozens of executive items. For day one, he is focusing on the pandemic, the economy, the climate, and equity. This includes ending Trump's restriction on immigration to the U.S. from some Muslim-majority countries, moving to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, and a proclamation halting border wall construction. He will also mandate mask wearing on federal property and during interstate travel, extend the pause on student loan payments, and push for passing a COVID-19 relief package. We have a full list of the rest of President Biden's entire 100-day plan, on our website, WANE.com. You'll also find everything you need to know about today's inauguration. Plus, you can watch more live coverage there as well.
Now, your first weather from the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center.
So it's been a day with snow stopping across the area, clouds decreasing, and sunshine returning. But it's still been a cold day outside, even with that sun being added to the mix. Temperatures right around 30. 30 our current temperature in Fort Wayne, 28 in Auburn, 27 in Columbia City, and 26 in Van Wert. Here tonight, look for our temperatures to fall into the 20s everywhere. This is your hour-by-hour forecast from our Wayne Weather app. At 6 tonight, 27. At 8, 26. By 11, our temperature falls to 25. Now tomorrow, a little bit of a warm-up for us, but it's just a one-day warm-up before temperatures get colder again. I'm tracking that, plus our next chances at seeing some precipitation, all in your forecast when I see you later in the show.
Nicholas, thank you. Coming up on First at 5, former Vice President Mike Pence is back home again in Indiana, while President Trump arrives in Florida to a crowd of supporters. We have more when your number one news at 5 returns.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching Wayne 15 News, First at 5.
According to the probable cause, witnesses say the victim in yesterday's shooting said, "Go ahead and shoot me," shortly before the trigger was pulled.
Court documents show the incident at Hawthorne Suites Hotel started over a Facebook post. Last night, after receiving multiple tips, officers found 28-year-old Joseph Rose near the village of Coventry. He faces a preliminary charge of murder. Court documents indicate Michael Middlebrook was shot and killed. A female witness told police that she, Middlebrook, and Rose were all hanging out. Then they started to argue. Shortly after that, court documents say Rose pulled a gun on Middlebrook and shot him in the chest. Returning now to the inauguration, as reported, President Donald Trump did not attend. He is now in Florida at his resort in Mar-a-Lago.
Today marked the first time in more than a century that a sitting president did not attend the inauguration of his successor. Trump left the White House for the last time this morning. He was given a military send-off at Joint Base Andrews in suburban Maryland, complete with a 21-gun salute. Trump provided remarks in front of supporters in his final hour as president. When President Trump landed, he had a group of people lining the streets and holding signs while cheering.
He was the best president, I think, in our modern history. after Ronald Reagan. He was the president of the people and for the people. Why would I be sad?
The 45th president left office as the only president ever to be impeached twice.
Now, as for Vice President Mike Pence, he and his wife Karen did attend the inauguration. Afterwards, they returned home, touching down in Columbus, Indiana this afternoon. Wayne 15 caught up with Andrew Downs from the Mike Downs Center for Indiana Politics. He believes Pence will begin giving speeches and finding supporters for his campaign leading up to the 2024 election, all while earning a living. Tonight at 6, we'll have live coverage from Columbus, where Pence spoke after being back home again in Indiana. Nicholas?
All right, we've had a chill in the air today, that's for sure, but our high temperature early on this morning, 33. We've been able to make it back to 30 here this afternoon, and tomorrow some warmer air comes in to surge us well above average. I'm tracking that, then another drop in temperatures in the 10-day forecast that's just ahead.
But first, an equestrian group from Culver, Indiana takes part in today's inauguration. We'll show you how they trained when your number 1 News at 5 returns.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching Wayne 15 News, first at 5.
Culver Academy's Black Horse Troop from Indiana got to virtually participate in today's inauguration.
Wayne 15 photojournalist Carlos Clopton gives us a look inside their preparations.
So right now we're preparing to have the possibility of being part of the virtual parade, the presidential inaugural virtual parade. We are, practicing with the kids and the horses. A lot of work has been going on since October, getting the students and their horses prepped and ready for this experience.
For the equestrians, we have a specific look. Like right now we are preparing for tomorrow. They're putting black on the hooves to make them look better, and the girls are braiding the tails to make them wavy. Like, we've got a lot of other things that you don't really think about that we're doing right now to prepare for tomorrow.
So essentially what my role is with the two troops, there's Troop A and Troop B, and then there's the squadron staff that oversees them. And I command the squadron staff, so it's kind of like a hierarchy, and I'm just overseeing everything and in charge. The past 4 months that we've been preparing, we would come to the riding hall from after school, like around 6 o'clock, and we're essentially doing what a lot of what you've seen is going around in formation, doing turns, and really just moving, working on dressing, which is just staying in line with the horses and spacing to make it look pretty. We're really proud and we're really excited for this potential opportunity, but also, like you said, that anxiety, that kind of nervousness, like I really don't want to mess up in front of the entire country. That'd be kind of embarrassing. We've put in a lot of hard work, not only these past 4 months in actual preparing for it, but the past 4 years and going through everything that we have through Culver's experience just to potentially be a part of this. And it's something that we know we've worked hard, we know we're going to do well. It's just finally being able to have this awesome opportunity and moment, and we're really excited for it.
Now, from the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center, here's your latest forecast.
So the snow tapered off and ended earlier on this morning. Here are some of our snow totals from across the region. A ½ inch officially in Fort Wayne. Woodburn, though, we saw amounts near 2½ inches. Tri-Lakes, 2½ inches for you. Angola, 2.4. Kendallville had an inch of snow. Now for our Fort Wayne snow totals, that brings us up this season to 5 inches. We're making headway to at least get us out of being the least snowy snow year on record. Of course, plenty more winter yet to go. 30 degrees our current temperature in Fort Wayne, but take a look off to the southwest. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. That's the brief warm-up I've been telling you about. It's coming tomorrow. It's gone, though, by Friday. Storm tracker shows the clouds. They are decreasing across the region, so we've seen some sunshine come on out over the course of the afternoon. Clouds will increase, though, as we get into later tonight and then begin our Thursday. Our temperatures are back to 30 degrees in Fort Wayne, 30 in Huntington, 30 in Bluffton after a day spent with temperatures in the 20s, 28 in Auburn now, 28 in Defiance, 25 the temperature in Angola. Over the course of the evening, temperatures in the 20s, gradually falling into the low to mid-20s as we get closer and closer to dawn. On Futurecast tonight, we see not many clouds around just quite yet, but overnight the clouds will increase, we'll wake up to some clouds, and then the temperatures will slowly rise after a cold start to the day. Morning time readings will be these: 24 in Fort Wayne, 22 in Kendallville, and 23 in Huntington. Much like today, although we have those clouds around as the day starts, the clouds decrease. We'll see the sun peek back out, and by the time we get to the afternoon, you team that sun with our strong southwesterly winds, and we're going to be back up to around 40 degrees for a high temperature. Tomorrow morning at 9, 29, at 1 o'clock, 37, at 5, 37. Our winds gusty at times from the southwest up to 25 miles per hour. Our Fort Wayne high 40. It's 41 in Decatur tomorrow afternoon, 41 in Bluffton. Upper 30s, a little bit more likely for spots to the north. Now tomorrow night into Friday, we're going to see clouds come back into the picture. On Friday, we start off with clouds, and those clouds are not moving anywhere. It's going to be a fairly cloudy day. Some peaks of sun are possible, but it's not going to be like today was, where we see the clouds decrease during the day's second half. Here now, your exclusive 10-day forecast. After tomorrow's 40, we're at 28 only on Friday, 29 for Saturday with sunshine. Sunday, clouds are back in the picture for us. We see some rain and snow showers. High temperatures just slightly above freezing at 33. On Monday, 34, the rain and snow shower chance continues. Then we'll spend a good number of days in the 20s. Tuesday, 29, Wednesday, 28, Thursday, 26, Friday, 27. What may be more notable, however, is the fact that our low temperatures drop into the teens. A week from Saturday, we are back to the mid-30s. That's your latest forecast. Tara, over to you.
Yeah, I noticed that drop. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nicholas. Congressman Jim Banks attended today's presidential inauguration. His thoughts going into the new administration tonight at 6.
But first, today's COVID-19 numbers and new county color metrics when your number one news at 5 returns.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching Wayne 15 News, first at 5.
62 more Hoosiers have died from COVID-19.
Today, Indiana health officials released the latest numbers. At this point, more than 9,100 Hoosiers have passed away since the pandemic began back in March. There are also nearly 3,000 new cases, taking us up to more than 598,000. The state's positivity rate just over 11%. In Allen County, another 170 residents have tested positive for a total of more than 32,000. Another 7 have died. That takes our death toll to 547 since the pandemic began. Allen County's positivity rate is just under 11%.
Last week, 77 counties were in the red. That's the state's worst ranking. This week, the number drops to 34. The Indiana Department of Health updated its county infection map today. Allen County has returned to orange status, along with DeKalb, Grant, Kosciuszko, LaGrange, Noble, and Wells. Jay County has improved from orange to yellow. In fact, the only yellow county across the whole state. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb has moved his weekly coronavirus briefing to tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. You can watch that briefing live on air or on Wayne.com.
Coming up, Nicholas has another check of your forecast.
So we'll hit 40 degrees tomorrow afternoon. We start off with some clouds, then we see the sun peek out. Friday, things turn colder again, 28 only for our high. Saturday, 29. Sunday, 33. Some rain and snow showers possible for us. That rain and snow shower chance continues on our Monday. Temperatures drop back to the 20s next Tuesday, stay there through Friday. Then a week from Saturday, we're back to the mid-30s.
It was great to have the sun today.
Sun really helps a lot, even if it's cold and windy outside.
Nicholas, thank you.
Thank you for watching. See you at 6.